All right. Hey,
School
welcome back. This is Denise Lockwood, the owner of Racine County Eye, and you are privy to the Whining About the News podcast. We are in beautiful 410 Main, the offices at 410 Main, and we've got Larry Davis, my significant other.
I'm reading a book.
Oh, he's reading a book. And this is Kate Dickinson, and she wrote Be a Superhero Kid in Training. And yeah, Larry's got the book, and he's probably going to be reading it for a few minutes. We'll see what happens. Maybe he'll do a little reading for us. But just a real quick, we're working on downloading it now. Unfortunately, wasn't able to open it on my phone, but I just got a message from John Valco, the fellow that has kind of been at the center of all this controversy with Reef Point Brew House. He just sent me a letter, an apology letter to the community. So we're working right now on downloading that, and we'll either be posting an update on that story very soon, but we're going to start talking to our awesome friend Kate Dickinson, and so I'm so happy you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell us about who you are and what motivated you to write the book, and Larry's probably going to give us a little reading for a minute or two after that.
That's great. Well, I'm Kate Dickinson, and I wrote the book Superhero Kid in Training. And the reason I wrote the book was I wanted to reach out to kids that have really common fears and show them that they can be awesome and conquer the fear. And I just feel like there are a lot of books written out there, but a lot of times they don't have the substance behind them in some ways, like to have a powerful message, because people are thinking they're just kids, and but they understand a lot more than sometimes are given credit for. So this book was just written to help them out and realize that with the help of their parents, they can be anything, and it's all from them drawing within and facing and tackling challenges that they have personally.
So what was it that motivated you? I know you mentioned that you wanted to help kids kind of conquer the fear, but was there a specific incident, or how did you get that idea?
Sure. Well, I was a hospice nurse years ago, and I had a specific family case where there were 4 kids involved, and their mom was passing away, and they had looked to me at the end just for some support. And I kind of felt at that time like I just didn't have any resources at all to give them. And initially that was what kind of sparked my interest in writing. But I had actually fallen asleep and had a dream, and I envisioned a story that isn't this one that I had written, but just to help kids with loss and, again, fear that they're facing.
That's phenomenal. That's amazing. Yeah. So
And when they do.
And tell us about
when
the
they
book.
do.
When they do.
When I look at the mirror, or myself in the mirror, I looked awesome. I danced like a superhero cowboy and ran downstairs.
Aw, that's awesome. Okay, so what are we saying, Matt?
Welcome to live viewers.
Yeah, welcome back to the live viewers. You're here with Denise Lockwood and Larry Davis and Kate Dickinson. Kate is an author. She wrote an awesome book called The Superhero Kid in Training, and it's all about helping kids that are experiencing loss. So she's telling us a little bit about that. So tell me about some of the characters in the book and a little bit of the overall.
Sure. The main character, his name is Finn. He's a boy that I would say is between 4 and 6 years old, learning how to ride a big boy bike. And he's, of course, not really accepting the change that his parents are bringing on him, that it's time to give up the training wheels. And so he decides at first that this wasn't going to be a change that he wanted to do, because he was very attached to his bike with training wheels. It had stickers on it, it had a horn, and he just didn't want anything to do with this change. The new bike was big and it was plain. So he kind of like came to terms with himself after a conversation with his dad, and went upstairs and made himself into a superhero and came down.
Well, you hooked Larry in with the superhero.
Superhero cowboy, man.
Yeah, because
He's got to throw the cowboy in, man. He's got to just ramp it up. There's superheroes, and then there's superhero cowboys.
Yeah.
Very true. So when he embraces this superhero, he comes down and he conquers his fear and turns himself, into this hero conquering villains that he was facing in his life. So it seems to have an impact on kids in that age range, and I've really been excited to see just people like my nephew who's just embraced the book, and it's his favorite book, and they read it every night, and that means a lot to me. So.
And I may be way jumping this. Maybe.
Are you jumping the shark or what?
No, not jumping the shark.
I
may be overanalyzing or jumping too far. But it's kind of like when you talk to young children. You can't tell them, hey, you need to like develop, or I want you to feel confident about this. Mm-hmm. But if you said, I want you to act like a superhero, they can kind of understand, okay, I know what a superhero is. I don't really know what the word confidence means, but it turns out superheroes are very confident,
It's kind of emotional literacy.
So you can sort of talk to them in these terms that they can understand, that are complex. So my thought was the superhero really is the idea of being confident. That's my thought, and I don't know if that's what your thought was when you wrote it or what.
It really is. I mean, that's coming from and drawing within and being able to tackle fears and being confident is very much the theme of the story.
Yeah. So there's characters in the book, and who did the illustration, and was that all you, or did you have some help with that? And tell me about that process.
Well, I can only draw stick figures and flowers, and so that's about it. And so I worked with Orange Hat Publishing, and they were amazing. They're out of Waukesha, and they're what you call indie publishing. And they paired me up with an illustrator there that they had named Jaden Ellsworth, and she's 15 years old. And
that's awesome.
Yes, she is awesome. She's absolutely awesome.
I actually really like the illustration from what I can see so far. I think it's really well
A
done.
15-year-old kiddo did that. That's amazing.
And she even wrote her own book and did the illustrations for it. I'll give her a little plug here because she is awesome. She wrote a book called Chocolate, and it's about a girl with a birthmark on her face that when she was younger, she embraced it and loved her birthmark. And then when she went to school, kids were making fun of her for the birthmark. And then she ends up meeting a little boy who has cinnamon on his face, and they become friends. So that she became comfortable with the chocolate birthmark on her face. So she really has touched a lot of kids, and her illustrations again were phenomenal for that.
So now is this part of something bigger that you're trying to accomplish with was it attached to any group or anything else that you're trying to fundraise for, or tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. Well, I have a foster child, and I'm obviously very passionate about that and anything related to it because there's such a need.
Just throwing this, I just saw this movie for the first time the other day. Have you seen Room for One More?
No, I haven't.
You just have to.
Okay.
You just besides being one of the most delightfully nice movies, the whole entire movie is about being a family who, as a family, have decided to be a foster family, and they foster some of the most difficult kids they can find. And they really turn things around for. So it's like this almost advertisement for look how great foster parenting can be, So Room for One, and it has Cary Grant in it. So
there you
and
go.
He's awesome.
So do we have more people on? Yes. Okay. So hey guys, this is Denise Lockwood with Racine County Eye, and you're you're tuning in to Whining About the News. We're talking to Kate Dickinson, and she wrote a book called Superhero Kid in Training. And my significant other, the amazing Mr. Denise / Larry. He's amazing, and he actually, so
Larry Tobolsky just said she loves the book.
Ah, awesome. So you even have a fan club, Kate. That's awesome.
That's my mom.
That's your mom. Hi, Mom!
Love the honesty, but you might have wanted to roll with it. Yeah, awesome.
Cheers to you, Mama. Yeah.
Yeah, I was noticing. What does like Mom get like this superhero sticker? And Dad doesn't have nothing. What's
he has
going
a
on
superhero
there?
kid tattoo, and that's even more fabulous.
Oh, all right.
That's
all right.
cool. Yeah. So tell me, okay, so you have a foster child, and so is this book part of kind of like raising awareness, or is it something that's a separate piece of what you're trying to accomplish?
They're both working together. Initially, when I wrote the book, it was about kids in loss. And then of course, I took on foster care. And so I'm passionate about that. And I wanted to take something and raise awareness to the topic, just because I feel like in some ways there's a stigma that goes along with foster care that sometimes isn't positive. A lot of times isn't positive. And I think we're all aware of that. But I wanted to draw attention to the good parts about foster care and help this company specifically called One Hope 27, who helped me sign up for foster care and the training and things like that. So
And it's called One Hope 27?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome.
So they do welcome kits for the kids when they come into care and ongoing training, and they have activities and things like that. So they're amazing, and I couldn't have done it without them.
That's cool.
Emergency or treatment? So emergency foster care or treatment foster care or regular foster care? Or, there's a couple different versions out there.
Yeah.
Larry has a mental health bachelor's degree in psych. He's a mental health guy too. He's when I first met him, he was working on the kids unit at the hospital. So he has a very special place in his heart for kids.
Well, there's different levels of foster care that require more training. I guess this would be more like just a standard.
Okay.
Just anybody.
Right.
into
So
care.
it's not a 2:00 in the morning call, which would be an emergency foster care situation. And it's not like, okay, this particular child is having particular special needs, maybe is autistic or maybe has some other needs that is a little more demanding. It's just the situation is just not working out with their primary family, and they just need some care right now.
Exactly. And you go into it with the idea that they may be reunified with the family.
Sure.
And that's the goal.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of it. So you're trying to help this family out while they're going through the trials that they're facing, and then whatever ends up happening is what happens.
So where do you get the book if you were interested in buying it?
You can get it at Amazon. You can get it here right now. You can get it at BarnesandNoble.com. And
so it's in pretty wide publication.
Yeah, it sure is, especially since you can get it anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
Anywhere, Larry.
sometimes, sometimes people can be self-published, and maybe you only can get it from one website, or maybe their own website, or something like that. So
People can see it.
Fabulous. Good job, Matt. This is why we keep Matt around. He's amazing. Yeah.
And he does all the technical work. He does all of it.
Welcome, new viewers. This is Denise Lockwood. I'm the owner of the Racine County Eye News website, and we're really happy you're here joining us. And we've got Kate Dickinson and Larry Davis. And Kate wrote a book, this one right here, called Superhero Kid in Training. And why don't you kind of give a little synopsis again of what it is and what kind of response you've also gotten as well.
Okay. Well, this book is for kids who have common fears And it's about helping them to embrace the superhero inside them and become a hero just by themselves, basically. And it basically with their parents and helping them through anything with their love and support. So that's basically the book. And then I forgot what you had said.
Well, how it's received. How have you gotten any reviews on it and things along that line?
Yeah, I've gotten some reviews on Amazon, and they've all been positive 5-star reviews. So I need
Not just your mom?
no, not just my mom this time. But yeah, a couple other authors have reviewed it, and that meant a lot to me, of course. So, and then I'm hearing people that I know that have gotten it for their kids. They've had a great response, and some of them have asked for cowboy boots so that they could ride their bike, and that of course makes me happy.
Now it makes me happy too because I'm a farm girl myself, so I'm pretty privy to the boot as well. That's very cool. So this, when you're looking back at this experience, was it difficult to write this book? Was it pretty easy?
The book was the easy part. Getting it published for me was the part that was really difficult because I wrote the book in 2013, and for whatever reason I just thought, hey, this book's here. People are going to be really receptive to it. And I sent it in to many, many publishers and got a lot of rejection letters. And so many rejection letters that I just decided to put it on hold. And so I picked it up again this year after a conversation with a friend who has a sister who's an illustrator, and she works for Orange Hat. So I contacted her, and they were very excited to work with me and wonderful to work with.
And that's kind of what I was getting at. I mean, if a guy wanted to,
Or girl.
you can,
or
right. You can self-publish. You can, pay and have it published and put it out there and stuff like that. But you had a publishing company that signed the book and then put it out.
Yeah, it is actually indie publishing, which is different than self-publishing and then getting a traditional publishing house. So they take on a lot of the responsibility, but so do you. And it is actually the most popular way to publish your book at this time. So self-publishing is still a wonderful way to go. You do absolutely everything, and then the traditional publishing, they pretty much do absolutely everything. And so this is kind of like the blend between the two.
How challenging was it? It seems like there would be a lot of competition for children's books.
There are, yeah. I'm still working on getting my name out there and the book. And I've, again, like when I wrote the book, I thought, people are just going to love my story and people are going to sign me. And then when I got it published, I thought, people are just going to love this and they're going to buy it. And all of that's not really the case. There's a lot of hard work behind this. And that's where I'm at now.
So are you looking to write a second book?
Yep, I have 3 other books basically ready to go. I mean, they're more of a rough draft, but this is part of a series. And the second book is about a superhero kid who has to get glasses. And so that... I know for me, I'm drawing on my own inspiration. Growing up, when I had to get glasses, I had these big pink ugly goggles and was made fun of for them. So that's kind of the approach I'm taking. They really are mean. They really are mean.
So what's funny is sometimes I this is a side point of when you watch most other creatures, most other mammals play in the wilderness, that they're toughening to, that sort of haranguing and stuff is sort of purposefully toughening them up, for the rest of the world, and so I think, is that what's kind of happening, as part of that toughening up, because, it gets harder as you get older, to make it, So, but that's kind of a side point, and probably a long philosophical conversation.
Did anybody else have any other questions?
It's the fact that we institutionalize them that encourages a lot of the put downs and the.
Did you want to? Do you want the mic? Yeah. Let me kind of.
Oh,
No, that's okay. Hang on a second. This is the way. Oh, good. Good.
So,
You're not. Don't worry. You're okay.
I just was commenting to Larry's point that it is the institutionalization of children that makes them more inclined to put each other down. The minute they're separated and they're doing something that they enjoy with each other, they're less inclined for these kinds of things. But we put them in situations where they're uncomfortable, they're nervous about how they look, and where they fall, the hierarchy, sort of a Lord of the Flies thing. And I think if we had more adults in those structures, whether it's elementary school, middle school, high school, more adults so that we could monitor this. But they're kind of left to their own, the bullying situations and the hierarchy in high school and the groupings. That takes place because they're unmonitored growing, brains, and we kind of put them in icky situations. But you're right, we're going to do that anyway.
This is Kate Martin, by the way. Yeah, so I just wanted to.
Oh, I said what I had to say.
No, that's okay.
If nobody heard it, I'm sorry.
that one's not working too good, huh?
No.
Oh, Frankenstein, you're letting me
Yeah,
down.
Frankenstein. Yeah. So did anybody else have any?
The local author scene, your local author, I missed that in the beginning. Is that is that rewarding? Is there a big author community? Is that cool? I didn't catch where you're from exactly.
Sure. I'm from Caledonia, and I grew up in Oak Creek. This has been really rewarding because I've seen a response, a positive response with families and people that I've known all my life, and then some new ones that I've met. So it's definitely been worth it for me. And I'm hoping to do it again, and keep on doing it. So.
Anything else that anybody else wanted to ask before we scooch? What do we got?
There's your statement.
Pardon? Oh, yeah. You know what? Okay. So, we're going to, the John Valco. So, just so you guys know, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of news here. So, bear with me as far as when I'm reading. So, basically, this is the statement from John Valco. He was the co-owner of Reef Point. And he texted me while we were live. He texted me a statement of apology. And so just for background, Valco had made some statements with regards to the NFL players, the ones that were kneeling during the national anthem. And he had made some really derogatory remarks about how they should be killed and that they were idiots and they should just kneel in front of a train. And it was really not well received, obviously. And so he issued this following statement. He said, "Today I offer up my sincerest apologies to every person near and far. My wife, my family, my friends, Tom Landerman, Patty Landerman, Megan Bennett, and all of the employees of the restaurant that have been hurt by the words I used. You all have every right to condemn the words I used. Those words should be condemned. I apologize." I'm reading it verbatim, by the way. "I apologize to every person of every race, religion, creed, etc. that I have insulted, upset, ticked off, or hurt because of the words I chose to use on Facebook. Many are suggesting the comments were directed at people of color. Be assured that it was absolutely and positively not true. I accept responsibility for these comments. I was wrong to have even let a thought such as this to be put into a text, and I am ashamed. They were offending and terrible words. I'm deeply and regrettably sorry. I'm not asking anyone to forgive what I have done. I am offering an apology and have been soul-searching for a possible explanation for the angry and hateful words I used. I will be seeking counseling for whatever may have triggered this outburst or behavior. All that aside, it does not make those words acceptable. I understand that it is never acceptable to say or even suggest or imply that another person's life be ended no matter how angry you might be feeling, and I'm going to work hard in therapy with a counselor to make sure that this never happens again. There is nothing else I can do at this point other to say, I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry."
some people are asking what you're reading.
So I just read the comment. So John Velko, the fellow that was the co-owner who stepped down today because of his comments that he made about the NFL players that were kneeling during the national anthem, this was his response. He sent it to me just within the last half an hour. And so I thought I'd read it on air for you guys to hear in his words what he said. So I'm going to be incorporating this into the story that I wrote today. And he's from, he was one of the co-owners of Reef Point Brew House. And this whole thing is completely blown up. And so this is what he had to say about what he had said. So that's where we're at with that. So was there anything else do we want to talk about this for a few more minutes?
We want to plug the website for the book.
Yeah,
Let's put it in the comments.
Go ahead and give the website for the book.
superherokidbooks.com.
We'll put it in the comments.
Yep, we'll put it in the comments. So was there anything else that we wanted to, do you want to kind of talk about this for a minute or so and then we can wrap up?
Well, no,
What did you think?
I think for me, I'm gonna let his words stand on their own.
Yeah. You know, it's hard stuff.
It sounds like and I'm even turning back a little on my own words, but it sounds like there's some definite mea culpa. I was wrong. It sounds genuine.
Yeah, what did you guys think?
It sounded like it was his own words. The way it was written,
Yeah.
it clearly wasn't written by a lawyer. It wasn't proofread by anybody.
Nope.
It felt very... I just put it out there.
Yeah.
And I guess that's probably his personality,
Yeah.
obviously. But I guess time will tell. I mean...
Yeah. What?
Well, I mean, in speech, the guy's stepping down.
Exactly.
There are actions also. There's a lot of people go through. In different points in public life, people have made different mistakes, and they've said, "Oh, I'm really sorry," and the next day, the world just goes on the way it has always. Well, for him, the world isn't going to go on the way it always has, and
It seemed very heartfelt. And
Yeah.
I think everyone would feel better because of it.
The fact that he mentioned his wife and his family first, I think that
Yeah.
showed that he was really... He's had a couple of hard days as well.
Yeah. Okay. So, anything else? Anybody else want to going once?
Well, it's a good thing to take 5 or 10 or 15 seconds
Oh,
and
wait.
read what you wrote before you post.
Yeah, read what you wrote before you post. Just to switch gears for 1 minute, and then I'll let you guys get to the football game. Oh, did I almost say football? Yes.
baseball game's over. So
Lord, football.
I'm guessing the Brewers lost.
Yeah.
Wasn't looking good earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the parking.
Yeah, the parking app.
Passport parking.
The name of the app for is called Passport.
Passport parking.
Passport parking. Also, just a side note, if anybody would be interested in sponsoring our podcast, we are going to be putting it on, we're going to keep this format where we're doing Facebook Live and then also putting it as a downloadable podcast on Racine County. I want to really thank my speakers, Kate Dickinson, and my awesome, fabulous guy, Larry. He's
okay,
awesome.
but I thought you were going to
And then
take your...
also Kelly.
Oh, okay.
Kelly was great. So I want to thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us at Whining About the News. So, all right, take care, guys.
Cheers.